sort of, I'm going to say it sort of puts it in a different box to other sci-fi projects that I watch, just because it's got a real grittiness to it as well, and that grittiness is part of the practical nature of it, but it's also, we're not shying away from being a little bit gory, so, which is good.
You're one of the few companies that's still doing a lot of practical.
Yeah.
Are you doing like slow transformations, and what's the nature of the prosthetics, essentially?
I'm going to say, essentially, we're pulling out every trick that we've got. We have to. It's like when I read the scripts, there was some real challenging stuff in there. So, and again,
we don't really have much familiarity with the script.
No,
at all.
that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. But when there's some stuff in there that literally, I went like, I'm going to say I have great respect for certain and great admiration for certain films like The Thing and American Werewolf in London and these sort of things. So and when you use those sort of, that's part of my childhood
tradition
and part of things I emulate, and I just want to one day say we can do that. This series allowed me to do that. So I literally saw some moments in the script. Then what we do is we get our designers to essentially draw up some ideas, or I draw up some sketches and show Natalie and Gail, and they go, can we do that? And I went, yes, please, we can do that. And they go, are you going to be able to do that? I went, yes. I mean, basically, that's part of my game anyway, is that we do stuff that scares us, because we're doing almost every job we do or anything we do, we've never done before. And that's part of the fun of doing things, because you don't want to just keep repeating it, you want to basically really test yourself, and if you can do something that scares you, well, that's fantastic. And this show certainly has had a lot of stuff that is like gone into that territory.
Are you doing stuff like Crystal Wallace, or are you doing stuff like Rob Bottin? Are you doing like Stan Winston? Is it a mix? Is it
bit of a mix, bit of everything, especially when you mention like Rob Bottin. I mean, that's great. As I said, having Gail as a producer and having her background in that world. When I reference any films, I say this is a little bit Winston, or this is a little bit Aliens, or this is a little bit Bottin. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, my guys really geek out because I bring Gail up in. We put the whole production in one big building. It's fantastic. I bring Gail up in the prosthetics lab, and then she starts telling stories about her first job being working with Rob Bottin on Humanoids from the Deep, and her job was to rub methicillin all over the creature suits. I mean, my guys are just geeking out. And then they stop like crazy for the next 2 weeks. That's awesome. And again, we've got so much in a way. They're letting us. I have to admit, this job this particular gig has kind of made me feel like they've let us off the leash, which is really good, and it's great. That's right.
I was going to say, is there any that you can sort of at least describe the look of, maybe, without getting in trouble?
Okay, the one I can, I think. What did Regan say to her character? You know what her character is?
She said she's a hunter.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know she's a hunter.
Yeah.
That's okay then. Okay, so basically, what I can say is that obviously we have aliens in the series, and then we have humans who, well, human alien hybrids, right? So they're obviously disguised hunters. How do they get to that point? How do they get from the alien to the human? And that's the thing that's the very interesting thing. So that's the first thing that I started with Natalie and Gail, especially with Natalie's work, saying, okay, I want to know how does an alien hide inside you? What is its physiology? Let's start right at the bare bones. When I say bare bones, we started with the skeleton. I go, it can't just be a human skeleton. It can be, but there's got to be a point of difference. But it's got to draw back from its origins. So what is the skeleton made of? What does it look like? And we started literally from the bones, and then we built up from there. What are the muscles like? What are the organs look like? And then obviously they're all encapsulated in a nice big meat human sack. So
were you working with a tabula rasa, or were you the primary design? The directors come in?
No, because the directors in TV come in later. So, and we have pretty much started.
And you've pretty much done the whole morphology of the universe.
Yeah. Yes and no. We're still. Funny thing is, Natalie and I on the plane over here, we actually came up with some brand new ideas. It's great. It's fantastic. We were going in 109. How do they get from that to that? How does that? And then we came up with some new stuff, and we went, ooh, can we build that? Let's build that. That'll be cool. That'll be really cool. I haven't seen that before. So it's very. The nature of this job is fantastic. Because it's the people, the creatives are working. They're very open to being quite malleable. If we can basically up the stakes. Like I'm not saying malleable like we can't do that. Can we cut that out? It's more like can I do that? You know, like, you're here, but can I do this? And they go, yeah, sure.
Is there anything that inspired you?
Yeah, pretty much like a lot of those old, like for us, it was like a lot of those old school effects people. They really sort of inspired us. And again, I'm not trying to say we're trying to copy some of the effects we're doing, but we're definitely homaging, definitely homaging a few of them. And there's one which I'm not allowed to talk about, but one in about the third episode, that I just like. Someone asked me, they said, "Is there something you're looking forward for other people to see?" I'm like, "Yes, there is." There's one in about the third that I just.
Is that when we get a first glimpse, or do we get it during the scene?
No, you get a bit more of a taste. You know, from the beginning, you get a taste. But yeah, it starts to get really. Again, it's just there's some stuff in there that I'm just excited by it because it's for me, it just feels like a very different sci-fi project. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not space battles and you know, it's literally keeping it as grounded as possible. And
there is still a sense of a more human-sized King Kong versus Godzilla aspect to it.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. It's and the great thing is it's really, I know it's. I mean, you know, I just one thing for me is I'm just having an absolute working on it, and it's just like we have to pinch ourselves knowing that we're sort of going in there every day, just working on it. Literally, my team is just every day. They're saying, I can't believe we get paid for this. It's great.
Great. Thank you.